Hey guys, Trevy the Great here again with another battle report. This time, at long last, it's Warhammer 40,000. I know you guys have been calling for some more 40k battle reports, so here we are. I deliver. Bam. There it is. So, this one's going to be Blood Angels versus Tau. Not a heck of a lot to say here. This was at my local game club. Me and only one other player showed up to play, so he was a relatively new Tau player, so I decided to show him the ropes a little bit. And give him sort of a hand in Tau strategies, because as you may or may not know, I played Tau for quite a while and was pretty successful with them. So this the scenario we got was Dawn of War and Annihilation. So we were fighting for kill points, and we had to set up in that weird table halves deployment. So I decided to take a pretty balanced list this game. And I've just looked up my list to remember what was in it, because this game was actually played a while ago. I've got the Sanguinor leading the whole thing. He's backed up by 4 Sanguinary Priests with jump packs, the Sanguinary Guard with the Chapter Banner, 1 Tactical Squad with a Flamer and a Missile Launcher, 3 Assault Squads with Melty Guns, Flamers, and Power Weapons, a Scout Squad with a Missile Launcher, a Devastator Squad with 2 Las Cannons, just basically because I had the models lying around, and then a Devastator Squad with 4 Heavy Bolters. Now I know it's not as effective as Missile Launchers, but I do love Heavy Bolters as a Devastator Squad build-out. It really pounds a lot of things, like Eldar get annihilated by Heavy Bolters, and Tau especially, Tau foot soldiers get nailed by it. So I do recognize the missile launchers are more powerful, but these are the models that I had available, so running some Heavy Bolters today. Let's see how they do. My opponent had because I helped him write his list, he had a list very similar to my Tau lists that I would run. He's got 3 units of 6 Fire Warriors in Devilfish. He's got, I believe, 2 Hammerheads, and all of his vehicles have Melty Trackers, Disruption Pods, and Flesh Dischargers. He's got 2 units of 2 Crisis Suits with Missile Pods and those other things. Plasma Rifles, bam, I got it, yeah. I played Tau once. And he's got a big unit of Stealth Suits, and a Crisis Suit Commander with Missile Pod, Plasma Rifle, with a Bodyguard who has Missile Pod, Plasma Rifle, and he has 2 big units of 20 or so Kroot with a couple Hounds. So, yeah, that's what's going on there. So he's elected to just deploy his commander with his retinue. They're behind that building in the middle, and as you can see, I've deployed my scouts in that ruin in the lower center of the screen. I've deployed my scouts up on the top with that little missile launcher who's unpainted, which is very sad, and my tactical squad down below. So everything else is going to come in on turn 1, and that's what's going down. Okay, so I think my opponent did take the first turn. He moved a lot of his troops onto the board. His Kroot were outflanking, and his Stealth Suits were deep striking, I believe, but everything else came in. However, we were playing with knife fighting rules in the first turn because it is Dawn of War, so no shooting really had much effect. So we went to my turn, and I jumped all my jump infantry on, and there they are. I now have a giant group of jump infantry. I do have the Las Cannon Devastators in the ruin up in the top right-hand corner. They are there to put some Las Cannon shots down on some tanks that are over there. I believe his 2 Hammerheads are over on that flank. And then the Heavy Bolters are in that crater in the center of the photo. So, yeah. Okay, so I didn't take an overview picture of my opponent's next turn, but this is round 2. In the center of the board, not a lot goes down. My opponent fires at my assault squads and does a couple of wounds, but Feel No Pain from the Sanguinary Priest really helps me save a lot of those. My opponent's Kroot squads come in on both sides of the board, so on my right and left flanks. This one is right next to my tactical squad, and they do assault this turn, although because they don't have grenades, the tactical squad does hold out and is able to do a couple of wounds to them, although it takes a bunch of casualties in return. And then on the other flank, his Kroot are too far away to actually do anything, so they just sort of wander around and shoot off Kroot rifles, because that's what they're good at. So other than that, not a lot happened, and because he's got a lot of JSJ infantry, he's just jumping up and down and not really getting closer to me. So we'll see how it goes on my turn 2. Sorry, I was really bad with the overview photos of this game. This is towards the end of my turn, my second turn. I've brought an assault squad over from the center of the board to counter assault this recruit squad that's holding up my tactical squad. They do end up breaking the recruit, and the recruit are now running away, and I'm just trying to leaf blower them off the map. So they're all spread out, getting as close to the recruit as possible to force them to flee next turn. Other than that, the Sanguinor charged into my opponent's crisis commander, and he was able to kill both of the bodyguards. He didn't actually attack the commander at that point, but the Sanguinor did take a wound from shooting before that, so he's sitting on 2 wounds. But he's fighting the only independent character on the map, so that's his target, so he gets rerolls to hit and to wound against him, so he's looking pretty good. Other than that, my opponent actually has all of his devilfish on this flank off the screen, just a couple inches sort of upwards, I guess you would say. And they're all going to get ready to try to do a Fish of Fury maneuver and castle up in that corner and start putting out some strength 5 pulse rifle shots. So we'll see how that goes for my opponent. Okay, this is my opponent's next turn. His recruit over here have eventually assaulted. As you can see, it's a sort of hodgepodge of models. There's skinks riding on gun drones. Those are actually his recruit hounds because both skinks and gun drones have high initiative, so there's the rationale there. And then you can see he's got a bunch of like human and Eldar mercenaries in there. So pretty interesting eclectic group of models. So they're assaulting the Devastator squad, and I believe everyone dies except for one of the guys with a las cannon. So that was pretty fortunate on my end, although that guy's going to die pretty soon afterwards. Other than that, my opponent has castled up with a Fish of Fury. He's started to put out a bunch of rapid-fire strength 5 pulse rifle shots, but feel no pain, sort of saving the jump infantry. But it's going to be very difficult to take out those skimmers once they're down like that, because I need to be very close to be able to jump over them and clear them without impacting any enemy models during my movement. I do have melta-guns which can take them out pretty easily, but I wouldn't be able to get at the fire warriors behind them. And because it's a kill points game, I'm looking for as many kill points as possible, so I really want to take out those squishy little fire warrior squads. What I can do, though, is I can fire flamers through the tanks. I can fire at the tanks and also strike the fire warriors behind them and possibly get some wounds that way. Okay, so this is the bottom of turn 4, and this is going to be the last photo of the game because I was walking my opponent through this game a lot, and we were basically just taking so long that I think this game ended up being like 3 hours long or something, and we both needed to go do other things. So this is we decided to wrap up the end of this turn, although it was pretty clear where the game was going, and I'll explain why. So throughout the game, my opponent did a very good job of keeping his units away from me, which is really what you want to do as a Tau player. He's moving his hammerheads at 12 inches every turn, which makes it very difficult for me to assault them and reliably get hits in. He's also got fletcher dischargers, so that he can do damage even before I strike. So it's very difficult to crack those armored units. The Sanguinor did eventually kill my opponent's crisis suit commander, but that was the only suit unit that actually got caught in assault. And I think that was just because of a mismeasurement on my opponent's part. He didn't move them full 6 inches backwards, or he tried to hide behind some cover and lost a couple inches of movement there. But that and combined with running from the jump infantry allowed me to get into assault with him eventually. Although all of his other crisis suit units, you can see there's one on the in the left-hand corner of the upper right-hand corner of the photo there. They've just been jumping behind cover, jumping back, and away from my jump infantry. So that was really good of him. His Fish of Fury there on the left-hand side was going to be very difficult for me to take down. I did eventually do it with just massed flamer fire. I was able to kill the fire warriors behind them. I believe that the 2 of the fire warrior squads did fail their morale checks and decided to run away. I also got a really lucky shot with a sniper rifle from one of the scouts. He rolled his 6 to penetrate, and because the sniper rifle is rending, he rolled, I think, a 5 or a 6 to get the additional armor penetration. And because the sniper rifle is strength 3, then that was a penetrating hit on the side armor of that front devilfish there, and I actually rolled a 6 and it made it explode. So that also killed some fire warriors. But that was a ridiculously lucky shot, so I can't really expect that to happen every game. So the way this game was going to be going, if we had played to the next couple of turns, at least through turn 5, is that my opponent had a unit of crew that were fleeing. Now the crew were below 50% strength, so they couldn't rally, so they were just going to go right off the board. And then 2 of those, the fire warrior squads behind the devilfish, ended up fleeing as well, so they would go right off the board as well, because I think they were below half strength at this point. I think one had 3 units in it, one had 2. I wrecked one devilfish, hammerhead in the center, top center of the photo with a melty gun, with a lucky shot, basically. My melty guns can't really do anything any other time, so I was kind of surprised that they performed so well this game. So that was another kill point to me, although my opponent did end up getting 1 from the Sanguinor that he killed with a submunition shot, a lucky submunition shot, failed my armor save, killed him. He killed the Devastator squad behind the ruins on the right-hand side with the las cannons, and then he's about to kill the heavy bolter squad. They've already taken 2 wounds at this point, I think, although they did something like 12 wounds to the Kroot, so they pretty much made their points back at that point. Other than that, it was going to be a pretty close game with the units fleeing off the board. Would have probably been in my favor had we finished the game, although as a new Tau player, my opponent did exceptionally well against an army that is notoriously difficult for Tau to face. I know when I ran my Tau, I was terrified of running into a jump infantry Blood Angels army because they had so many melta guns. They would just ignore disruption pods. They could go right through me and cut down all of that mech very quickly. So my opponent did really well facing off against this army. I think there's not a lot he could have done better. I think he stacked my right-hand flank a little too much, and I didn't have many troops on there, so I was able to just deploy my jump infantry in the middle, and they were so maneuverable I could move them to any place I wanted to, and that big line of sight blocking piece of terrain in the center really cut his army off, and a lot of the hammerheads and the crisis suits couldn't shoot the whole game, so a little bit better deployment on his part could have changed a lot of things, but I think he did really well as a first-time or a new Tau player, so congratulations to him.